Are you crazy? You're actually crazy. Okay, got it. Enchanted Garden. Between $5,000 and $7,000, okay? I'm basically DIYing my whole wedding.
This channel is where I become the version of myself I used to be afraid to dream about. Through DIYs, self-taught creativity, and little wins, I'm becoming SugarMilk. And maybe you'll become your best self too.
Welcome to Becoming SugarMilk, where we craft confidence one DIY at a time. And today, I'm going to be launching my wedding series. It's going to be called Becoming a Wife, because I'm getting married. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm getting married, and I want to document the whole thing on this YouTube channel. I'm a DIY girly, and I'm going to be a DIY bride. So, I'm basically DIYing my whole wedding. And I want to tell y'all about it. So let's get into it. So I'm getting married September of 2026, so September of next year, and the theme is Enchanted Garden. And the whole idea is like, if a fairy invited you over for dinner, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What would it taste like? The whole thing. I want it to be a very immersive experience. And my fiance is into Lord of the Rings, so he's very much into that realistic fantasy. So we are going to try to interweave some of those like elements and themes into the theme of the wedding, into the whole theme of Enchanted Garden. We're getting married at the national park. I don't want to say where specifically because it's kind of local to where I am, but we're getting married at a national park, and it's the perfect setting for like a garden, fantasy, enchanted, like nature inspired wedding. It's beautiful. And it's such a full circle moment because our first date was at the national park. We went to get Indian food, and then we went hiking. Or actually we went to the national park, we went hiking, and then we went to get Indian food, and then we went back to the park. We shouldn't have, because we were both exhausted, but yeah. And then when he proposed, he recreated our first date, which completely went over my head, which is all I wanted. All I wanted was to be surprised. Completely went over my head. He recreated our first date. Went to get Indian food, and we went to the national park, and he took me to this meadow with all these flowers and stuff. We went up a little hill, and I was exhausted. I was out of breath after we walked up that hill. So I was like, give me a second. So I'm on the ground, and he calls my name. I turn around, and he's on one knee. I'm like, oh my goodness. It completely caught me by surprise. But anyway, so yes, that is the venue, the location, and we're gonna have the ceremony and the reception at the same place, thankfully. And that's also why I wanted to look for somewhere that we could have both of like parts of the event at the same place. And also, this is another little tip. If you're looking to do a wedding on a budget, look into like historical or like national parks, museums, things like that, because all the other venues that I looked at that were just for either the ceremony or just for the reception, or even if it was both, were like probably double what we're gonna be paying for the venue. So if you're looking to do this on a budget, because I'm trying to do this wedding for between $5,000 and $7,000, okay? Close to the 5,000 if I can swing it. But this is gonna be a budget wedding, but I don't want it to feel cheap. I don't want it to look cheap. And hopefully I can, as I take y'all on this journey of planning this wedding and making it come to life, y'all can get some ideas, some inspiration. You can give me ideas, inspiration. But that's the whole thing. Using that to segue into the decorations, I want to do life-size flowers. I'm going to put some examples on the screen. Life-size flowers, almost like you're in the garden, and I want to add like lights into certain parts of the flowers and like movement and stuff, almost to make it like our love brings that garden to life, but you're in the garden, kind of like Alice in Wonderland type, like small type thing. So yeah, that's the main aspect of the decorations that I really am focusing on, because like I said, I'm getting married at the national park, so there's already trees, there's already grass, there's already this beautiful landscape, but I want to add those elements to make it enchanted, if you will. And we already have a caterer as well. We have that booked. Thankfully, the caterer is familiar with the Lord of the Rings and that background context, whatever, the theme in the background. I don't know the word for that, but he's familiar with that. So as I was going through and telling him like the theme that we're gonna do and how we want to incorporate whatever, he came up with a custom menu for us, which I was really thankful, because the venue that we're going to, they have specific caterers that you have to pick from, and they have to be full service caterers. So I was like, bro, I don't want to, first of all, these other caterers are expensive, and second of all, they are not going to let us do a custom menu. I was really thankful that we found a caterer works with the national park that would help us bring our wedding and our thing to life. And on that note, because I'm not making, listen, anytime I tell people what I want to DIY for my wedding, they're like, are you crazy? You're actually crazy. Okay, got it. Because I don't want to get off track, but I'm already making my own wedding dress. I'm making all the decorations and all the like invitations and all that. I'm making all that. And I also want to make the desserts for the wedding. At first I was like, okay, I don't want to make the desserts because I don't want to do anything food. I just want to do all the decorations. I already have enough on my plate. And then the seed was planted in my head. So I was like, maybe I could just make some cupcakes, you know, a couple different types of cupcakes. It's not going to be too much. Like, it's just cupcakes, right? So I was like, okay, I decided I'm going to do that. And then I'm like, well, okay, I can't do the cake because that's just doing too much. And then I was like, maybe if I just do a little cake. So, because that's the plan that we're gonna go for anyway, is like cupcakes or like different types of small desserts and a smaller cake. We're not gonna do a huge cake because everybody's not gonna eat the cake, and we're not about to spend all this money, even if I do make it myself, spend all this money, all this time, whatever, making a cake that people aren't gonna eat. And that way, if it's cupcakes, it's already portioned, yada yada, you know. And I did already do a trial of the cupcakes that I wanted to make. I did a vanilla caramel cupcake. I also made the caramel from scratch. I did Guinness chocolate cupcake with the cream cheese frosting, not buttercream, and a apple like turnover type, or apple upside down cake type cupcake. And I took them to work and they loved them. So I think I'm just gonna have to end up making a lot more for the actual wedding. I might do another trial, we'll see. And because I've never been married, I don't really know what I'm doing. I know that I want to DIY a lot of stuff, not only to save money, but because I love DIYing stuff. But also, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't know what things I might miss. So Jamie Wolfer on YouTube, I've been watching her for years, even before the prospect of me getting married was even a possibility. I've been watching her for years. I love her content. Yeah, Jamie Wolfer, I've been watching her content for years, and she has a wedding planning checklist for people who are DIY or like planning their own wedding. So I went on there and I got the checklist. So I have at least like a guideline to follow, even though I'm DIYing a lot of stuff and I'm doing things kind of unconventionally. Like, for example, I'm walking myself down the aisle. That we can get into that another time. But so I do have that. I'm not just kind of winging it, maybe a little bit, but so yeah, I have that to kind of keep me on track of what I need to book, what I need to have done or made or whatever. So yeah, that's the plan. If you want to see how it unfolds, how everything turns out, stick around. And that's it for today's episode. Now go become the best you.